Welcome to the finals, where we meet off against Forley again, our first round opponent who crushed us and crushed everybody else in this tournament. The deck is actually very similar to my mono control deck, basically an Esper deck splashing green. It's basically the same deck for the Multicolor Mayhem League. He just doesn't have any card drawing other than Altar's Reap. So yeah, we know it's a tough matchup. So let's find out what happens. Triple Scryfish, 2 lands. I'll probably keep it. Again, it's not actually a good hand because we don't have early pressure, but let's see what happens. Okay, drawing Cloudfin's pretty good. Deadly Recluse, that card's actually pretty good at slowing us down, so we'll probably just play Scryfish, evolve our guy, and say go. Draw land. Scryfish on upkeep. Keep Divination. Drew Divination, then I scryed. I probably messed up that order. Still can't attack. 0 guild gates out of our opponent, which is really interesting. Stab wound probably means end of turn, retraction helix, bounce our Scryfish. Yep. Double Scryfish, 2/3. Still don't attack there. Huh. I wonder what I'm thinking, like I don't want to trade, I guess. Retraction Helix is good, because I know for sure I can bounce that token. Ooh, Hidden Strings is pretty good here too. I can tap his guy, heroic my guy, attack in, Cypher. So he chump blocks with his 1/1 flyer to deny me a Cypher trigger, so my guy's a 2/4 instead of a 3/5. Luckily, none of my guys were X2 or smaller, so the Ubulsar Gatekeeper is pretty easily thwarted. I don't scry on upkeep because I want to at least be able to block the 2/4 when he attacks. Probably could have scried at least once, but Roaring Siren. Helix bounces the Deadly Recluse, which is actually just not a good play. He's got 5, had 4 cards in hand. Probably has removal spells. I mean, I'm doing it just to get in 2 damage and 2 heroic triggers. I mean, it's okay, but I think I'd rather not. Yeah, see now, like Nessie and Asp, I can't even attack through that. Divination's a good one, I'll keep that on top. Scry before divinating, that's pretty key. I didn't want Nullify because the problems are on the board, so I really just want I want Wavecrash Triton and Hidden Strings more than anything. There's the Wavecrash Triton, which is pretty sweet. So now I'm really just digging for another Hidden Strings. Even a Retraction Helix would be pretty solid. But again, I don't have it in hand, so he's able to kill my huge 4/6 Warwing Siren, which is a dagger. But I guess I put the Retraction Helix down on the bottom anyway, because I'm just looking to find Hidden Strings as fast as possible. Unblockable is a really good ability, so I can actually get in there. Put land on bottom. Cloudfin Raptor's probably going on bottom. Triton Shorestalker, I can actually keep that because it's better than flying. So I have a lot of blank draws in my deck, but let's see what happens. So he stab wounds my guy. I kind of blew my Retraction Helixes. I erroneously blew them. So he's taking 2, I'm taking 2 every turn. Another stab wound. Wish I had these retraction helixes. Land bottom, land bottom. Frostburn Weird doesn't actually do a thing. So I put it on bottom and draw another land. So I'm taking 4 a turn, dealing 2 a turn. He could have been attacking. Now he's got 2 3 3s. I'm pretty much in an unwinnable spot. Hidden Strings is good. Right? I can scry, get extra scry triggers. Tap his Nessian down. Tap his Death Cult Rogue down. Put it on a blockable guy. So he has no flying blockers. So I'm actually going to add 2 Hidden Strings Cypher triggers, which is again pretty good. So I can make my War Ring Siren bigger and Wavecrash Triton lock down 2 more guys. So that's, or just, I guess I got some extra scries too. Another Course of Court, jeez. Need some more counter spells. Land bottom. Taking a lot of damage. It's actually a kind of close race though, because I guaranteed myself that I'm going to be able to hit again with 2 Cypher guys. So he's only taking 3, but I get more Hidden Strings triggers. Now, what do I target? Alright, the two creatures with reach, because I want to be able to hit again with Hidden Strings. The problem is he really should just be attacking with all of his team. Ooh, gaining 7. Cerulea's like, again, probably one of the best cards ever in the control decks. And there was again a time where I could have sandbagged a Nullify and just not put it on the bottom right after he landed the Nessian, but yep. But instead, even him being at 6, I can only deal him 3 this turn, or 2, 3, 4, I guess 5. It would have been close. 2 from the Shorestalkers, 2 from the War Ring, 1 from the Cloudfin. So I'd have put him at 1, and then I would have been dead the next turn to Stab Wound. So even then, it didn't necessarily matter. Would have had to have kept the Retraction Helix that I scried to bottom, and or not used my Retraction Helix to get in that very first hit where I bounced Deadly Recluse for like almost no value. This is a pretty apparent principle even in Theros block draft. Like when you have Voyage's End, the card's so good, you don't need to play it very early just to push through a little bit of damage. You can hold on to it and wait and really blow people out with it when they just put themselves in a vulnerable spot for it, because then they'll restabilize by replaying the creature, and if you have no way to deal with it at that point and they're not at 0 life, then you didn't really do anything. It's kind of like milling someone when, you know, they still have more than 0 cards in library. They're not dead from milling, and you didn't really accomplish very much. So that was game 1. Pretty close game, actually. Me scrying maybe drew a lot of virtual cards, but it also has this skill component that I think everybody says, oh, the better player is going to win if they get the scry return. You know, I very well could have made good decisions for the time in the match, but bad decisions overall to get rid of Nullify and that Retraction Helix, and didn't play patiently enough and thought, oh, I just need to win right now. I need to find, you know, my Hidden Strings or my Wavecrash Triton. Like immediately, it's like maybe that wasn't the game plan that actually wins versus this deck. Is instead of just like bum rushing and suicide attacking, you know, setting up the pieces into a strategic position and then striking all at once and being resilient to removal. So things to keep in mind. Alright, we'll be back for game 2. Close this. Right now, I like how easy it is to run these replays. So I get to be on the play, which is nice. 1 land hand, got a mullet. Another 1 land hand, with mono 3-drops nullify. Pretty awful. Got a mullet. This hand's, again, I guess okay. Plays a 3/3, gain some life. I'll definitely block. Not scared of Celestial Flare, but got the scatter when he tries to kill my guy post combat. Guess I'll Hidden Strings here because it locks his guy down, lets me attack, and untap and still leave Dispel and Nullify open. Again, not the ideal situation. Now he goes for the removal spell. It's a good thing that I have it covered with that Dispel, but got the Nullify for this too. But again, us being at board parity, only dealing 1 per turn, I'm in a spot where I can't win this long game. Yeah, 2 3/3s, I can bounce one, but I can't bounce one in response to the Populate trigger, so he gets at least 1. I'll take a second Wave Crash because it's pretty good. Man, an Aqueous form would be really sick right now. So I blocked, and then he had Ubulsar. Kind of got a block because he's got a lot of power in play, and I just keep drawing. Again, situational counter spells that I sided in that aren't that good, and he's got the mono creature draw. Got the counter for it, but I never drew. I mean, I mulled a 5, never drew a Divination. So I'm kind of forced to make these blocks. He ran him out of Ubulsars, but no Scryfish. And he's just beating the brown out of me. Yeah, he drew really well. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He drew 8 lands, but each one of his spells makes like 2 guys or has it comes into play effect. So there's a lot of value to his creatures and spells. So I drew 2 less lands, but the spells that I drew were just all 1-for-1s and only 1/4s that didn't do very much because I didn't have any other board presence. So keep drawing these situational counters. Maybe it's just poor sideboarding, but at this point he got me and thoroughly overran. Definitely think Junk is awesome deck against control or against creature decks. It takes control of the game pretty easily. My one suggestion for him would be to cut Elvish Mystics ×2, cut the Sundering Growth in the main. Do not need that card in the main as a 1-of, and then cut 1 Deadly Recluse, go down to 2 Deadly Recluse. They're good, but they're easy to kill. And throw in 4 Read the Bones. You throw in 4 Read the Bones, and this deck is just hyper consistent. I would also never play the off-color gates. There's no point unless if you're trying to run Deputy of Acquittals and getting value out of your creatures even more. You just don't need more than 12 guild gates. But these are just how I build all my decks. I never play Unknown Shores, never play Transguild Promenade. Your 3-color deck, 12 dual lands is perfectly reasonable, and then all the other lands, if they just actually tap for 1 full color of Plain Swamp and Forest, you're going to get there a lot of the time. You don't necessarily need Gatecreeper Vine or Axebane Guardian, but those are playable cards. We don't typically need them. I think every card in this deck just is such value when it resolves and really gets you going to the late game that, as long as you don't fall behind on cards and don't flood out, you're going to put a lot of pressure on the board and be able to handle a lot of the other creature threats that exist. So yeah, so congrats to Forley. Great games. I like this deck, but I've been kind of into playing a different deck every single week this season just for fun. I think I'd get too bored if I played the same deck more than once. So yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back with a couple other video analyses for the Multicolor Mayhem mono control deck, basically Esper Splash Cerulean Gatekeepers. In the semifinals, is a really good match versus Adner. I'll post that one. And then the event that I won, which was just really just like a test event for the first SPDC, where I actually beat Forley twice, and another deck that was kind of copying my black-white control deck with Creatureless Dimir. So yeah, so stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching.